Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the 93rd East-West Shrine Game impressions from the practices. I am at the Shrine Game right now. I am in St. Petersburg, and it is a fun town. I will tell you that much. It's lots of fun, but not only that, lots of football to talk about. Attended both the East practice and the West practice, and I'm just going to give you some of my impressions, some of the players that stuck out, and just the general vibe of the East-West Shrine Game, because it's one of my favorite All-Star games. I'm just going to be honest. It's one of my favorite because it's very laid back, very more chill. People are less cutthroat. People are a little bit more open to talk to you. It's just a much... the Senior Bowl, it gets very intense. The Shrine Game is kind of like a warm-up. People are starting to get into the groove of things, and it's not quite as intense. So that's why I really like the Shrine Game, because it's a smaller venue, more chill, more relaxed, and that kind of stuff. But in terms of impressions of the practice, so again, I went to the East practice. Guys that really stuck out to me at the East practice. Brian Allen from Michigan State. I actually was jonesing to get a interview with him, and there was kind of a weird, there was kind of an interesting sort of course that happened with that. I didn't get a chance to interview him because of some complications, but I definitely will try to interview him. But he had a fantastic day. He is someone that last year popped a lot on film at guard and center, and he did a fantastic job just in terms of blocking, intensity, and just getting the job done. But he definitely was a guy who really stuck out to me. A couple other guys in terms of the quarterbacks. Riley Ferguson was okay. He made a couple mistakes here and there. He's interesting though. He's very interesting. I do kind of see some of the flashes that people talk about. But he actually looked kind of smaller in person than I was, because I was thinking I was going to see this giant dude. And he's definitely pretty big, but he's not as big as I thought he was going to be. So that's my general kind of impression on him. And then, of course, we get to Quentin Flowers from South Florida. And I'm just going to be honest, guy, he looked like a DB / wide. Like, he looked like a skill position player. He didn't quite look like a quarterback. And that's not exactly what you want to say. He also had a couple mistakes here and there. I think there was I don't know if the fumble was necessarily on him. But definitely there was a fumble involved, and he was involved in that play. So there was a couple things here and there that kind of wishy-washy with him, but I do like him. I just think there's some inconsistent things there. And then, of course, J.T. Barrett from Ohio State, a guy that is very cool, very calm, very not charismatic, but very solid leader type. Quiet, reserved. But gets the job done type. So he's definitely he definitely showed up in terms of that kind of stuff. In terms of the running backs in that group, big one, Chase Edmonds from Fordham. He probably was the main running back that stuck out the most in terms of the East practice. Showed decent speed, pretty tough overall player. At the wide receiver position, there was a couple different guys that kind of stuck out. The Doris Fountain from Northern Iowa made a couple plays here and there. Jester Way from Pittsburgh showed decent size as well. Regis Sibasu from University of Montreal, also pretty impressive guy, when he was going through most of the drills. And on the defensive side of the football for the East game, Dietrich Nichols, cornerback, showed pretty good hips, pretty good intensity, pretty smart player overall, pretty, very yakker type, but he was definitely fun to watch when I was watching that group. Ken Tavius Street from North Carolina State, he was probably the one that popped the most athletically speaking. He was very explosive, very fast, could get around the corner in a hurry. So he definitely was a guy who kind of stuck out from that perspective. Chad Thomas from Miami stuck out just because of just pure size. At the defensive tackle position, guys like Folorunzu Fatukasi from Connecticut was one of the guys who really stuck out at defensive tackle. And then Sanat from South Florida was the other defensive tackle who really stuck out at the practices. So all those guys really stuck out the most. I didn't get a chance to watch DBs or linebackers that much. I will definitely do that tomorrow. But those are just the basic guys at the East practice that kind of stuck out to me. And then at the West practice, The main guys I was watching was the offensive linemen because it is a very strong group of guys that were there. Jake Bennett from Colorado State showed very, very good hand usage. Very, very, very good hand. He did get beat a couple of times, here or there, but he showed very, very strong hands. When he could get your hands on you and lock and get down, he was pretty down and dirty. Dijon Allen from Hawaii also kind of made a couple plays here and there. Cody O'Connell from Washington State, a very big guy. Now, I will say this about him. He was having a couple issues in terms of just getting the right calls on time and making the right play and setting up. But definitely fun, but definitely was interesting to watch. I'll say that much. He was a little slow to catch on to certain things, but definitely kind of improved as the day went on. And then, of course, Jacob Alsadek, another guy that was kind of slow at first, but definitely kind of caught on as the day went on. And the other guy, Josh Oni Sorge, who's a South Dakota State guy, he stuck out as well. But the main player that stuck out the most to me at the offensive line position was Zachary Crabtree. Zachary Crabtree was really impressive. He showed decent size, really good hips for a guy at his height. He's 6'7", but really good hips for a guy his size. Really good base, and really intelligent, really smart guy. Just has a ton. Just showed. He's a guy that's a 4-year starter and showed that experience in every single way at this practice. So if there was a clear winner from the West group of offensive linemen, it was Zachary Crabtree, because he was just really impressive in terms of just everything that he was doing out there. Just a really impressive guy. In terms of the quarterbacks, not a lot of the quarterbacks really stuck out that much. A lot of them made mistakes. Nick Stevens threw a couple picks. Nick Shimonik made a couple plays here and there, but definitely was a little in terms of placement and just kind of slinging it around. And Jeremiah Briscoe just really didn't do a lot for me to kind of stick out the most that much. When you get to some of the skill position guys, I think Justin Jackson stuck out a bit. Philip Lindsay especially stuck out just because of how in shape he's a really in shape guy, and he really shows that he's kind of a rock solid type of dude. So he's in pretty good conditioning, I guess is the best way to put it. And then of course you got Blake Mack from at tight end. He was a guy that was really strong for a guy his size. So he's not the biggest guy ever. He's not 6'5" or 6'6", but very powerful guy. Really good blocker. Really heavy hands. And he definitely was really impressive at the practices because of that. When you get to the wide receiver group, Bryce Bobo made some decent plays. Devontae Boyd made some decent plays as well. Jake Weineke Weineke from South Dakota State, another guy that kind of stuck out a bit as well. Making plays here and there. And then of course when you get to the defensive side of the football, didn't see a ton of guys, but the big guys who really kind of stuck out in terms of offensive line drills, defensive offensive line drills, was Justin Lawler. He definitely made some plays here and there. Joe Ostman, especially from Central Michigan, popped a lot on in terms of plays there as well. Blau Nichols from Delaware was pretty impressive as well in terms of the plays that he was in, and Marcel Frazier as well. So those are the main defensive players that I kind of saw the most in terms of those drills, and those were the guys that kind of stuck out the most to me out of that group. But overall, guys, very strong day for me. In terms of the first day of practices, I didn't get to interview Brian Allen. That's on my to-do list because I wanted to get you guys an interview out there, like actually to talk to one of these guys and talk them up, chat them up. But it was just way too busy today. It's the first day of practices and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to get an interview tomorrow. And I hope you liked some of the insight, man. Again, the big winners to me out of the Shrine, Zach Crabtree, big time winner. And then of course when you're talking about the East practices, I definitely would say when it comes to the East practices that it would be some of the defensive guys like Fuller Runzu, Fatu Kasi, and Sanat, and those types of guys. I would say a lot of those guys kind kind of won the day in terms of that, and Brian Allen as well. Brian Allen was pretty dang impressive in terms of being an offensive lineman that was there and doing his thing. So that's all the guys, and of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well. If you like this, hit that notification button so that you're always reminded of another video of mine. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace!